All right, welcome everybody to the Successfully Unemployed Show. My name is Dustin Heiner. I'm here to help you learn how to quit that job, that just overbroke job, with every means possible. That could be starting a business, could be having passive income, investing in real estate, whatever it might be. And today we have a fantastic show for you today where we have Krista Mashore, who's going to show us how she became successfully unemployed as a realtor. I love realtors. I use them all the time. So, Krista, thank you so much for being here on the show.
Oh, I think really appreciate you having me. I'm super excited to be here. I love what you do, and I'm just happy that you let me be a part of it. And thank you so much for that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and you honestly, you're the first realtor or somebody who's teaching how to do real estate and being a realtor here on the show. So this is really, really exciting because being a realtor, I mean, you're basically like you're a go-getter. You have to make sure you get things done. So I'm really looking forward to okay. So even though I led into a little bit about you to tell us how do you make money and provide for yourself and your family without working that just over broke job?
I love it, Dustin, how you're like, how you're not really working. Well, we definitely are still working, but I'm just working for myself, obviously. I just think, and I'll tell you, I used to be a teacher, and I taught third grade. I have a master's degree in education, and I was teaching for 6 years, making $60,000 a year, working full time as a teacher. And my daughter got sick, and I ended up, going leaving my teaching job to go be a stay-at-home mom, basically. And I thought, I'll just sell a couple homes a year, 4 or 5 homes a year, and I'll make as much money as it is a teacher. Well, I quickly found myself with 2 daughters, and I found out my husband was having an affair, and pretty soon we had zero money in our bank account, and I had 2 little girls at home, and I had to sort of make real estate work. So I started doing it full time, and it's all history from there.
Well, that's awesome. And now you currently are showing other people who either want to be or currently are real estate realtors how to actually do it and be successful. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I basically teach real estate agents and local professionals how to what I call digital location domination, how to dominate their market and become known as the go-to authority, the go-to expert in their field, utilizing social media and video. So basically,
That,
online.
yeah, that's super cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that because I mean, it seems like with real estate, being a realtor, a lot of it for forever, every as long as you can think of with homes being sold and everything, it's all networking really close to you. But you're utilizing, and we'll definitely jump into all of that. Now, talk to us a little bit. You said you were a teacher, then left that to be a stay at home mom, which is great. I'm really blessed. My wife's a stay at home mom. She actually homeschools. We have 4 kids. I have the easy job of making money. She has the hard job of homeschooling the kids, and she's phenomenal. So I, definitely think that's
You
huge.
have no
Huge
idea
respect to
how
do that.
much harder her job is. It's so much harder
Oh,
being a stay-at-home mom like that. 4 kids, my gosh. You get
it
to go to
sure
work and
is.
have a break. You never get one.
I completely agree with you. Now you were, oh my goodness, so you were a teacher, then you would stay home, and then you all of a sudden the world gets turned upside down on you with your husband having an affair. Sorry to hear. That's just disgusting. Now you have to actually make it, and a lot of people when they quit their job, they want to be successful and employed, work for themselves, have their own business and stuff. They kind of gradually get into it. But no, you had to jump in the deep end and learn how to swim. Talk to us about that, the fear, or how you even got over the fear and all those doubts and all that sort of stuff.
It really was fear. I mean, people ask me, my first year, I ended up selling 69 properties
That's good.
by myself as a solo agent. Yeah. And it was just basically my goal was to keep my daughters in their house, keep them safe, keep them happy. I didn't want to have to move out of the home was basically the main thing. And I just put my head down and hunkered down and just worked really, really hard. And yeah, pretty much every year after that, I just made it happen. And it was not easy. I mean, it was sad. The best thing that ever happened to me, quite frankly. I didn't know at the time, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me and my girls, quite honestly. And yeah, the rest is history.
I completely understand how at the time you're like, this is devastating. What's going to happen? But then now you're looking back, thinking this is absolutely the best thing, even though it was horrific. It was turned around, and so it's also a testament to how much of a hustler you are. Because to do 69 deals, you said that was your first year?
Yeah, my first year, huh? First year
That
in the
is
industry.
that is huge. I mean, in my opinion, that sounds huge to me to be able
Yeah,
to do
it's
that.
pretty
So
big. I mean, the average realtor, they say sells 1 home a year. It's closer to 3. if that, because the people like me that do 150, 160 homes a year are, and then there's the ones that do. So really it's the average agent across the United States doesn't even usually sell about 3 a year. So it definitely was a big deal that anyone can do it, right? I always say if one person did it one time, it could be done. It's kind of like the 4-minute mile being broken.
Yep.
And I'm so glad I did it because, I'll never forget my best year in real estate. And this is not to talk money, but you got to talk money because what your podcast is about, being successfully unemployed. To think that I was making $60,000 as a teacher for a year, my best year in real estate, my best month in real estate, I made $360,000 in 1 month. So that's in a month, right? And so if you compare the two, that I made $60,000 with a master's degree and 6 years experience in a year, it's just crazy what you can do when you actually do, when you're successfully unemployed, right? You get rid of that job.
Absolutely. And we got to realize, and everybody listening to this and watching this on YouTube, we need to realize that our bosses are only paying us enough to keep us working without us quitting, and not so much that's going to either take money out of their pocket, or if it's an organization, money out of their budget. You're only just living just over broke. And if you actually get paid for the value that you're going to bring, you're going to make so much more money. Obviously, Krista is an absolute testament to it. Now, Krista, it sounds like, honestly, being a real estate investor myself, I love using realtors. I love utilizing wholesalers, other investors, my property managers, everybody to find properties. But I'll be completely honest, it seems like there are a lot of realtors. Now, if we were to get started, not just that, there are a lot of them, is it something we should be concerned that there are a lot of realtors and it'd be hard to break into? And then at the same time, how would we get started doing that?
So I think that real estate is very competitive, right? Just like a lot of things are very, very competitive. But most people, what I have found, like I coach realtors now, right? So I'll do this thing called and I've sold over 2,200 homes personally in my career. And I'm literally a digital marketing specialist. I'm really, truly an expert in online marketing. And right now more than ever, agents need that, right? They need that. And so I do this free training once a month where I train agents for a week on how to utilize social media and video and all this stuff. And all these people know I have this experience, and yet only a couple hundred will show up, but then like 30 to 40% will actually stay in it. So it's just like, it's amazing to me that, somebody that can give you that kind of experience and help and guidance, that most people are not willing to put in the time that it takes to actually, the investment, right? The investment of time and energy to learn. So if you're somebody who's a go-getter and is willing to do things differently than everyone else, and what I teach people how to do is how to take video content and become the mayor of their town, creating video and doing, interviewing local professionals, interviewing local restaurants, doing market updates, like anything and everything that has to do with their community, they are talking about. And this can be done with any profession, right? If they're willing to do that and and invest a little bit in the marketing budget behind getting the videos to actually get a lot of exposure, they can end up dominating. We've taught brand new agents how to outperform top producing agents within a year time by doing this strategy. So, there's something to be said about that, because realtors are a commodity. There's so many of them, but so few of them, just like in most professions, are willing to really go above board, be cutting edge, be innovative, be different, be unique, educate themselves on how to do so. And if you can do that, you can do great in real estate, just like any other profession.
That's awesome. And I'll be completely honest with you. As I coach people and teach people how to invest in real estate, I tell them that realtors, honestly, they cut almost like a dime a dozen, because anybody can become a realtor, but the good ones, the ones that are actually going to help you to find deals and actually do a lot of work to help you win in your business, you got to hold on to them. Like the ones that are doing 69 deals in their first year, like you find people like that and you hold on to them, because they're definitely going to be the ones that are wanting to find good deals, pass them on to people who can get the deals done and actually make and finish the transaction out. And so now, as we are looking at becoming a realtor, obviously it might be really I'm just kind of thinking it out. So you might call up a big organization or a big firm that's inside your area and just say, hey, I want to be a realtor. Is it that easy just to do that and then take a license, like Series 6 or whatever it is, and actually, that's probably not it. But anyways, is it just taking a test and putting your shingle up and saying you're a real estate agent?
That's the problem with real estate, right? It's like you can make so much money being a real estate agent, but the barrier to entry is so, so small. I mean, we are held to the fiduciary obligation as a doctor or attorney or a lawyer, but yet we need less training than a nail manicurist, or like my daughter, she's going to beauty school right now. She had to go to beauty school for a year and a half. It was a $22,000 investment to cut hair and make $100 a haircut, right? And it took a year and a half. If we're a real estate agent, at least in California, it's like you take 5 classes online. It's like you don't even need to really study, and you get your license. That's really, truly how easy it is. And so these people are entering the market. They think they're going to make all this money. It's going to be so simple. And that's what they do. As much energy and effort they put into getting their license is the amount of energy and effort they put into becoming a real estate agent. And that's why they're a dime a dozen. That's why they're a commodity until you find a good one, right? And when you do, like, hold on tight, because they're hard to find.
They are. And as I teach my students how to actually find the investor grade realtors, it's really just it's almost a science to try to figure out who is actually knows what they're doing, and they're actually going to help you in your business. Okay, so let's say we go in and we take the test, and we study, we take the test, and we become a realtor, and we're working for a big company we're starting to bring people in, or at least as best we can, telling our friends and family members. Like, what is the first step that once you have that, you're a realtor now, you now are actually buying or helping people buy houses, helping me sell houses. What's the first step that we need to do beyond just becoming a realtor?
Well, you want to really educate yourself about the market, what the market's doing, the neighborhoods, prices of homes, styles of homes, what's happening in different neighborhoods, why they're desirable, why they're not. And you want to start to kind of be a reporter of your town. What I mean by that is being somebody, so you want to just position yourself as the authority figure in real estate, and you want to make it to where it's impossible for someone not to think about you when they think about real estate. I call it being a community market leader. Anytime anybody thinks about real estate or your community, they need to think about you. So you start creating local content, right? You do things like, and you can do this as a brand new agent. You just start, going in, looking at different neighborhoods and talking about the difference in neighborhoods and the styles of homes in the neighborhood and the price points of the homes in the neighborhoods and the schools and what's there to do and the dog parks and the best places to eat and fun things for the family and what you do for the kids and what's the market like and market updates both within the neighborhood and how it compares to the actual city. And you start comparing just anything and everything. You start going to restaurants and you just like order food and showcase the food of the restaurant. You interview local business owners, local restaurant owners, local professionals. You just start getting yourself out there, creating as much video content. And while you're doing so, you're learning the neighborhood, learning the town. You're being a reporter of what you're seeing. No one knows that you're new. So they assume because they see you all over the place talking about real estate that you're, doing a lot of business. Perception is reality. And before you know it, if you keep that up for 6 months, 9 months, a year, you are going to crush it. You will all of a sudden, what happens is with this kind of a thing, it's called the compound effect and the momentum effect. And most people won't do it because they're not willing to wait until the compound effect or the momentum actually takes place. But at around month 6 or 9, all of a sudden you go from like nobody knowing you to being extremely busy. And if you continue to do that and produce the content and properly distribute it, meaning you're taking all those videos, you're putting an ad budget behind it on through your social media channels like Facebook. I specialize in Facebook, so that you're being seen over and over and over again. You're getting several hundred hours of watch time on every video that you produce because you're putting a small budget behind it. You very quickly can start dominating the area.
So these videos, it seems like we could put them on social media. Do we also create like a YouTube channel as well?
Yeah. So I do something called video repurposing. You take the video, you put it on your website, you take the transcription of it, also put that on your website, put the video onto, because that'll give you search engine optimization. Put the video on YouTube. Now you're getting SEO from Google because Google owns YouTube. You're taking little Instagram snippets. You're uploading the long form post on Facebook. You're uploading the video on Facebook. You're running an ad behind it on Instagram and on Facebook. So you're taking that video, you're doing like 10 different things with it. And so you're just like being seen by the masses. And you're not that cheesy realtor that's like, oh, hire me, I'm number one, I'm the best, right? You're like somebody that is totally giving value and information.
Helpful. Yep.
Let me put it in perspective
100%.
with you, right? With your people. You have investors, and as an investor goes to look at in areas that they want to market, especially if they're doing out of state. If there's an agent that talked all about investment properties, what's the best ones to purchase and what the best neighborhoods are, and what the debt to income ratio would be and what their return on investment, all that. I mean, who do you think your people would use? I guarantee you they would use that person. Whether they were new or not, they wouldn't know they were new. They'd assume that they were busy. They'd use that person because they saw that person everywhere, and that'd be their go-to. They'd at least give an opportunity, right?
100%. And I find that the more times that I have somebody that's like a realtor giving more information rather than just saying, I'm the best realtor, I like just, billboards, like the number one salesman, all that sort of stuff. No, if you're helping me understand the market better, I'm actually going to think, man, this guy actually, he's helpful. He's more wanting to actually earn my business as opposed to just hoping that I just drop by because they actually have a huge billboard, like the biggest billboard. Hey, he spent a lot of money on that billboard, so we probably should go with him. It's not the case for us as investors. We want to make sure these investor grade, I would call them, realtors or agents actually can understand what an investor think, how they think, but that we're looking for passive income, that we're also looking to capture equity. We want to force the appreciation up, all this sort of stuff. Whereas I've actually talked to realtors, and my students have too, where they're like, oh man, look at inside this house, it has really, really good blinds and curtains and stuff. I'm like, we don't care about that stuff. We want to know about our return. How much money can we make? How much can we rent it for? What are expenses going to be? Like, we want to know that stuff, not how pretty the house is. We can always make it more pretty. We want to know the investment property and how it's actually going to benefit us. So is it hard to become somebody like that, or is it better to just be a well-rounded where you help anybody and everybody?
No, you want to be able to help both, right? Like I always tell my students they should niche in one or two or three or four specific areas, right? So they like talk anything and everything about that. One of those might be investing. And why you should invest in certain areas and the best properties to find and the best areas to invest in and all that. Another one might be, I'm going to help, senior citizens in Corona Park, right? And obviously help everyone, but create specific content that's curated around specific niches so that when people go to do searches that you always show up. And serve, not sell, right? You need to have a servant's mindset. If you have a servant's mindset and you're helping people and you're adding value, that's the whole idea behind this, is that it's an attraction-based business model. Instead of constantly chasing it, you're attracting it because you're giving value, you're giving information, people are finding it useful, they're interested in it. I mean, everyone loves real estate, right? They really, really do. Even as a real estate agent, if I see a sign that come up in my neighborhood, I'm grabbing the flyer, or I'm going home and I'm looking at the cost that it's up for. And I'm in real estate. People are so enthralled and interested in real estate. Become that community market leader.
I love those ideas. I mean, you unpacked a lot of stuff inside there. Now, I want to get a little more into, because a lot of realtors, they would just say, call up your friends, call up your family members. Once you're getting started, just start trying to network and try to just talk to as many people as possible. You have a different approach, and my opinion of your approach is it's much more insightful, and it can actually reach a lot more. Just like with let's say my YouTube channel or my podcasts or anything where I'm literally helping people and serving more people without even asking for anything. People come to me because they say, man, you've served me so much that now I feel like I can actually do this. I actually can invest because you've either taught me or I understand it. Same thing with like a realtor. The more that a realtor serves, the more I'm like, man, this person really, really wants to help me succeed. Let me start talking to them. Okay, so I want to dive a little bit more deeply into doing sort of the content, and obviously the platform. Facebook's different than Instagram and Pinterest and all that. There are a bunch of different ones, which we can get in the weeds there, but I don't want to. I'll talk more about the content that you should produce, because you're going to reproduce it everywhere. But how would we know, what's the first thing, because you gave us a bunch of it, but what's the first thing that we should look at in our, the very first, let's say 5 videos, the 5 things that we're going to be put out there? What type of content should we make sure we have in there?
Honestly, just community content, right? Like I always tell everyone they should do one niche related video, one real estate related video, and like a tip or trick in real estate, and then like a market update, right? So you want to do at least one market update every once a month at minimum. Every 2 weeks is better. Just talking about the market climate, the conditions, what's happening. Then you want to give like a tip and trick about real estate or a niche video, and then do a community type of video. Interviewing a local business, go into a restaurant and showcasing it, and just be that person that just constantly is just giving value. This works so well, especially when people are looking for properties, like investment properties, like you're saying, or like in states where there's a lot of people that are leaving. Like the amount of people going to Idaho, I think it's like 600 a day or something crazy like that are going to Idaho. It's insane. But places like Idaho, Nevada, Arizona, Las Vegas, all these places that are affordable where people are flocking to, they're going online to learn about the area. They're going online to look for their realtor, to look at neighborhoods, to look at pricing. If you're somebody that's talking all about, an area that's in a 5 or 10 mile radius, like everything about the schools, the restaurants, the neighborhoods. And when people go online, they're seeing you. Who do you think they're going to call? They're going to call you. Absolutely. So just start creating that video content, create a Facebook page that's all about your city. For example, I've got a Facebook page that's called East County Fun that talks all about East County and restaurants and just, fun stuff, what's happening, school scores, anything you can think about the area we put in there. And it just brings people together, so by doing that, and also by talking about real estate in conjunction with community stuff and fun stuff, it might even just be like a tip or a trick or a hack that you learned or a great book that you listened to, or a training that you did. It doesn't have to and shouldn't just always be about real estate. It should be anything community, real estate, relationship type building that you can, so that you can start developing a relationship with your community.
That sounds fantastic. And I love the idea of the content that you just gave us, how like the types of videos, because I know as you were talking about those, I was like, man, I would watch those. Like as an investor, because we invest all over the nation. And what we have is students that are trying to find realtors, trying to find property managers, inspectors, and all that sort of stuff. And you can go to Google and just look up a realtor or look for property managers. How much better it would be if you can see the person's personality. You watch the videos, they are giving you the market update of what's going on. If it's once a month, that's a lot of information that you can be giving to people like me, or even just a home buyer that's, like you said, they're moving to Idaho. They want to know what the city's like. That is a brilliant, brilliant idea. Okay, yeah, so from that, now we're going to transition to where we now are constantly putting out content. About how many times a month should we be looking? Is it like once a week, or do you have like some sort of idea of how often we should be creating content?
Yeah, so now you're going to think this seems like a lot, and it might to some at first until they get good at it, but I like to tell people they should try to do at least 2 videos per week. I tell my students 3, and if they do 2, I'm stoked. If they do 3, they're like super A+ gold star, right, medal awards. So I personally do a minimum of 3 videos per week, just like the type Pepper, no, just like the ones I just kind of talked to you about and described to you. And when you do that, you'll see a massive impact. And just like you said, think about if somebody calls me from a different state, they're an investor. I could shoot them the market update video. I could send them a text message with the different neighborhood videos, right? And kind of show them the difference between what 400,000 gets you and what 200,000 gets you. And that's the person you're going to call, and it takes a little bit to create this content. But once you have this content, I always tell people to go deep, go really, really deep. And before you go wide, meaning pick a neighborhood and just like anything and everything about that neighborhood, do content on, and then do another neighborhood, right? And then do another neighborhood, so that when somebody goes and is thinking about living in XYZ neighborhood, if they see videos, and content that you're producing about every aspect of that neighborhood, they are going to think about using you.
That is, I love that. And as you grow, you can definitely expand out. Like if you already hit that market and you are known as that person, you can expand out of there. That's great. Okay, so now that we're looking at creating the content, now we need to actually put it places. We need to like Facebook, Instagram. I mean, do you recommend like literally every single social media? Because there obviously TikTok's one of them, Pinterest. There's so many different ones. Is there ones that we should gravitate towards, or is there any way that we should stay away from?
I personally believe that Facebook is and YouTube are your best sources to go, and you need to run ads behind them. So here's the deal: is that just like any business in real estate, I know one of my employees said that one of his good friends bought a coffee cart, and it cost him, just under $300,000 to buy this like coffee cart, the kind that, it's like remote. $300,000 to sell a, $5 cup of coffee, right? Real estate agents can make more money than doctors, attorneys, like all of them, I personally know that I don't know many, doctors or attorneys that make over $1 million a year. And real estate has afforded me that, right? And so it's behooved me to think that I don't need to invest in my marketing or exposing myself to the masses to do so. So if you're just posting on your business page or just posting on your personal page or just posting on any of these social media sites without running an ad behind it, not many people are seeing it. The only people that are seeing it are your friends and family and your mom, right? You want everyone else to see it. You want like the whole community to see you over and over and over again. You want people that are coming outside of the area and doing research inside, to see your stuff. And that happens quickly by putting a little bit of money behind that video. So you take that video, you do create an ad through your ads manager account on Facebook. I love Facebook. You can do the same thing on YouTube, and you start creating content. I don't even do YouTube yet. I just put my videos there, but I don't run ads there. I just spend money and put ads and money behind behind Facebook and Instagram. And, we can see a significant impact on the return on our investment by doing that.
That is great because you're boosting. Like Facebook uses that term boost, like boost a post or something like that. But you're essentially getting that to more people as opposed to them eventually gradually finding out about you over time. Now, are you posting that video to Facebook and actually putting money behind just that video? Are you trying to do like lead capture, try to grab their email addresses? Like what else are we supposed to do with Facebook?
Yeah, so this is so basically the answer is yes, I do put an ad spend behind. I don't boost because with boosting you don't have the retargeting feature. The goal is for you to like create a video content and target people, retarget people, create special ad audiences, which are like lookalike audiences, and let Facebook work for you. So I start off by just creating video content, and then I can tell Facebook, okay, Facebook, these people just watched 75% of this video. Send them another video. So then I'll create another video that's similar to the first one, and Facebook will send them another video. Then I can tell Facebook, okay, go out and find me more people that are likely to interact just like these people did. Find me more people like that are exhibiting the same type of behaviors. And believe it or not, Facebook can do that way better than any other like data source. It can tell like what you're doing, what you like, what sex you are. I mean, what you're interested in, what you don't like. It knows everything about you. And so you say, okay, find me more of those people. And then you start giving them more content. So what happens is if I do a video on, how to buy an investment property in Idaho, right? And I can see that somebody's watched 3 videos on an investment property in Idaho. Then the next thing I'm going to do is say, okay, would you like me to give you a, I don't know, what do you guys call it? Like just some kind of an analysis on whether or not this house is the good return on investment, right? Or let's do it different. Like I do seller videos and I can tell somebody's watched 3 of my seller videos all about selling. I know they're probably thinking about selling. So then I send them to a conversion lead form where I'm going to then ask if they'd like a market analysis. Then I'm going to send them to a funnel and boom, they're going to get a market analysis dropped off at their home. So that's what I call attraction-based marketing. Somebody's raising their hand and they're saying, I would like a market analysis, right? When we're running our ads consistently, we get between 2 and 4 people a day raising their hand and saying, I want a market analysis. Then what we do is we then hand deliver the market analysis on their porch. We also drop off a marketing plan. I drop off a copy of my book, The Savvy Seller. We then send a video text message telling them to check their email because we go home, we do a Loom or a Zoom video breaking down what the market analysis is. Then we email a digital copy because at that point I have their email address and their name. So then we email them a copy of the marketing plan and the book. We email them a digital copy as well. And then they also get the emailed video. So now they're developing a relationship with me, but I'm winning before I arrive because these people have already seen me 2 or 3 times. Now I'm taking it one step further into hand delivering things to their house, sending a video text message, sending an email, going over the CMA. Like if those people want to sell, I am getting that listing hands down all day long. And just from that one strategy, last year we closed 48 seller transactions, resulting in $740,000 in commissions just from that one strategy, right?
Wow.
So we know it works, and it works for newer agents, more experienced agents, but you have to be willing to do all those extra little things, right? If you look at an attorney or a doctor, they go to school for 10, 12 years and they're making the big bucks. But we have to be willing to do those little things that most agents aren't willing to do to be able to solidify that listing.
So let me ask you a question. It'll definitely apply to realtors, but also me as well. So with Master Passive Income, I've made lots and lots of YouTube videos teaching people, like literally 150 different types of videos, put them all on YouTube, teaching how to invest in real estate. All just content sharing, how to do it. because I can teach anybody how to invest. Getting them over that hurdle, knowing that they can do that they want to do that, it takes all this much information where they realize they can do it. Anyways, so I have all these YouTube videos. Should I then, instead of just leaving it on YouTube, should I also, because I still have the same file, should I upload it to Facebook and have that be a Facebook video and then run ads to that? And just like you said, have a trail from here to here to here, and then eventually have them capture like their email address, give them a free real estate investing course. Is that like what you're thinking?
Absolutely. That's the exact process. And it works for any business. Like it works for any business at all. It's like, think about this. Let's think you're somebody who's thinking about going through a divorce. Okay. And you're going through a divorce, and so you start creating video content as an attorney about how to divorce and make it peaceful, right? How to divorce and not get hosed by your spouse, how to divorce and keep the children happy. So they're thinking about, probably it's on their mind. And then you're like, hey, would you like to watch this free 20-minute training on, 3 things that you can do to save thousands of dollars when selling and still keep your kids happy at home? Yes, I would. Great. Fill out this lead magnet. Give me your information. Now I'm going to start continuing to market to them. You could do the exact same thing. It's just in a different manner. But what most people do is they start with that. Oh, would you like to watch a 20-minute video? Well, I don't know who my target audience is. I don't know what they're interested in. I don't know if they even are thinking about divorcing or buying real estate or investing. When you start with the content first and then funnel people down, if people are continuing to watch that they're interested in the subject matter. So your money goes more quickly, your leads convert much more quickly, and they're true conversions because they're interested in the subject matter.
Man, I love that. I am definitely, because like I said, I have so many videos that they're only just on one platform. I wish I could use them on another platform. And Facebook
you can.
So would Instagram be the same thing? Like, would we just upload that video to Instagram as well?
Remember that it's not just uploading, you have to run an ad behind them, right? So through Facebook and the ads manager, you can run an ad on Instagram as well. You can run an ad on YouTube, right? I mean, if YouTube's your place, maybe you want to learn to do it on YouTube. I love Facebook because the average person, there's 2.8 billion users on Facebook. It's the most largest used platform than anything else. So that's why it's so important, the Facebook platform.
Man, I love that. I think that's great. And boosting it, I keep saying boosting, but like putting ad money behind it to get more people to see it is absolutely the key, because you're going to grow little by little by leaking out content. You'll grow a little by little, word of mouth and stuff like that, but you definitely won't grow as big. I mean, there are big companies that spend millions of dollars on advertising. If we're worried about spending, I know $100 is a lot of money, but if you're worried about spending $100 on ads, just realize your competitors are spending thousands, if not tens of thousands or more on ads. So they're in front of your customers as opposed to, go ahead.
Yeah. Anybody who's trying to generate leads is using Facebook. Like if you're looking for high quality leads that convert, you're using Facebook to do so. And like even with your real investing, it's like they're going to make good money. There's a great return on investment. You have to be willing to invest time, energy, and resources to make the money. The money just doesn't come. People are like, oh, I want to have all this money and do so well, but I don't want to, I'll pay for things once I have the money. It's the reverse. You need to spend the money to learn the resources, to learn the tools, to learn the skill to make the money. It's not the other way around. You have to invest. And if you're not willing to invest, then like, what do I say,
You've given us so much great information. I want to jump into the rapid fire round. We're going to close everything out. You can take as long as time as you want to answer these questions, but it's just to help us to understand how you are being successful. What is one tip other than getting started, because we all know we should get started, but is there any tip that you would suggest that as we want to become successful realtors, is there anything else that you can add that we haven't even thought about?
Yeah, I think that your mindset's the most important barrier to your success, because if you read the book Think and Grow Rich from Napoleon Hill, there's 16 success habits that successful people have, and he found that they're ones that can be learned. You're not born with them, and one of those is belief. It's having a strong belief system in yourself, right? And just trying to have a positive attitude. And I believe that the mindset and the way that you think about things and what you say to yourself and the way where you let your thoughts go are huge. I can give you the blueprint on exactly step by step how to do what I do in my business. But if you don't have your mind right, it won't make a difference. You have got to be able to believe in yourself and just focus on positive things all the time.
That's brilliant. I completely agree with you. Just like I said, I can teach anybody how to do it, but getting them to over that limiting belief that they can't, that's a very, very hard thing to do. Okay, so next question. If you ever going to go back to your younger self, I don't know, high school, college age, would just pick sometime when you're younger, and you would give yourself some good piece of advice. It could be business, could be life or anything. What would it be?
I would say to just do things a little faster, right? Like money likes speed, and I'm pretty quick, but there's been a few times where I wasn't quick enough, and it's cost me, hundreds of thousands of dollars, quite honestly, right? So I would say that act quick, like money likes speed, be decisive. Decisiveness is another one of Napoleon Hill's traits that successful people have. So make a decision, be decisive. People are always getting ready, they're always aiming, but they never actually fire. Successful people fire 10 times, maybe they fail 7, but they're still 3 times ahead of someone that's just always thinking about it and getting ready, right? So just take action.
What is one nonfiction book, and you've given us a couple already, but what's one nonfiction book that we should read? And if it's Think and Grow Rich, that's totally fine. But I want to see what your favorite one is.
Oh my God, I have so many. I'm totally a neuroscience junkie, so I love Think and Grow Rich. It's a great one. Oh, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. Is another great one. And Cybergenetics by Dr. Maxwell Malch. I know I said 3, you said 1, but they're all so good. It just talks about the brain and how science works. And it's just really, really powerful. I think if you read those, they all kind of say the same thing. So it makes you realize just how, like, just really, truly how there's scientific evidence and research behind our thought processes, how we think, what we say to ourselves, how we treat ourselves mentally. It's phenomenal. So I'm obsessed with those kind of books.
Awesome. Okay, so what is one tool? It could be a piece of paper and a pencil or an app or anything that you use in your life on a day-to-day basis that we should look into using.
Video, your cell phone, and hit record video. That's it. Everybody has one, right? Start using your cell phone camera on your phone.
I love that. I completely agree with that. In fact, when I make a lot of my YouTube videos,
really, it's true.
yeah, I literally use my cell phone for most of my YouTube videos. It's literally what I use.
Yeah.
Man, Krista, you give us so much great insights. I know people are absolutely going to want to reach out to you, see how you can work together or something like that. How can they find you? How can they reach out to you as well?
Yeah, so I do an event. You go to KristaMashore.com/2days live. That's KristaMashore.com/2days live. I do a 20-hour training. It's 2 days long, where I just coach on these type of strategies and tactics. It's this event's geared a little bit more towards real estate agents, but I guarantee that any professional will get great value out of it, especially it's $97. It's like we're giving it away for free. So,
and you do it live every single time?
Every month. Yeah, once a month.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you. Okay. Now you have a podcast, don't you?
Yeah, it's Fired Up with Krista Mashore. So if you go to Apple iTunes, we get about 25 to 30,000 downloads a month. It's called Fired Up with Krista Mashore. In fact, Dustin, we're having you on there pretty soon. We're excited about that. But yeah, Fired Up with Krista Mashore.
Awesome. Krista, thank you so much for being on the show. You gave us so much great insights. I really appreciate you.
Oh, thanks for having me, Dustin. It was great. Appreciate your time. Appreciate you. And thanks for thinking of me.